welcome to Dressmaking Amore. Today we're going to be making this stunning slip dress. With the beautiful draped neckline and the soft silhouette, this dress is a beautiful one for any special or ordinary occasion. The link to this pattern that we're going to be using, called Celeste, is in the description below this video, so check it out and sew along. For this dress you will need 2 to 2.5 yards or around 2.5 meters of silky fabric, glass head pins, matching thread, the pattern, and scissors. I'll be using a regular sewing machine for French seams, but you can also use a serger. For this Celeste dress, I'm using an elegant red polyester silk, but you can also use a satin or a crepe fabric. This is a thin and lightweight fabric, which is a bit harder to work with than a heavier weight fabric, like this gold satin, which is a bit forgiving on the body. There's more information about the fabric choice in the instructional ebook that comes along with your pattern, which is where you'll also find the pattern printing and cutting instructions, as well as the fabric cutting and layout guide. Before we get started, please show us some love by clicking that like button down below and subscribing for more dressmaking videos. Let's begin! Center back. We will sew this dress using French seams. First, sew the center back seam. Pin the pieces wrong sides together, matching all of the marks, and hand baste the seam. This step is more important for a lighter weight, slippery fabric. You want to make sure that you're pinning on a flat surface to prevent any fabric from moving around. Sew 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters from the edge. And trim the seam allowances to 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters. Remove your basting stitch. Press the seam as it is and then press it to the side. Fold the fabric right sides together and pin on the wrong side right along the seam, your seam allowances being inside. Do this on a table so that you can direct the fabric in the direction that you need. Press. Pressing always helps to sew slippery fabric. Sew on the wrong side 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters from the edge. Press the seam. Then open it up and press it to one side. Cool the seam with a clapper or your palm before moving your fabric. Side seams. Pin the front and back wrong sides together, matching all of the marks. Make sure to pin on a flat surface. Sew 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters from the edge and trim the seam allowances to 1/8 inch or around 3 millimeters. Press the seam as it is and then press it facing to one side. All the seams should be pressed in the process if you want to achieve a professional look and a high quality piece of clothing. This also helps with sewing neatly as the fabric becomes more obedient. Turn the fabric right sides together and pin at right angles with the stitching line. Your seam allowances will be inside. Press. Machine stitch on the wrong side 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters from the edge. Press. The straps. Fold your strap in half, right sides together, and start sewing, creating a funnel at the top. Sew around 6 mm from the edge. Turn the strap out using a loop turner hook. Press the straps. Then pin the straps at the marks and try the dress on to correct the length of the strap. Make sure not to twist the straps in the process. You can also use the paper pattern as a guide to cut it to a standard length. Facing. Stay stitch the top of the back facing. Check it with your paper pattern, as slippery fabric can get longer or shorter as you manipulate it in the process. Stay stitching will help to stabilize it. Sew the side seams of the facing. Place the back facing on the front piece of the dress wrong sides together. The top edge of the facing has 2 notches for the straps and it's closest to the back piece. Pin and sew 1/4 inch or around 6 mm from the edge. Trim to 1/8 inch or 3 mm. Press and turn it out. Then right sides together, press it again. On the wrong side, sew 1/4 inch from the edge. Press. Pin the straps to the back and front notches on the dress. Pin the facing to the dress armhole and back, matching the control points and side seams. Sew 1/2 inch or 1 cm from the edge. Then trim the seam allowances to 1/4 inch. Understitch the facing only at the back, as this will leave the armhole flexible. Turn it over and press. Hem facing and dress. Fold the bottom edge of the facing ½ inch or 1 centimeter to the wrong side and sew a 1/16 of an inch or 2 millimeters from the edge. Trim away the seam allowances as close to the stitch as possible. Fold the seam to the wrong side again and stitch over the first seam, creating a very narrow hem. Hem the dress in this way as well. Give your piece a finishing press and we are done with our gorgeous Celeste slip dress. It really is a gorgeous dress, and whether you decide to be fancy or casual with it, you will look absolutely beautiful in it. Get the sewing pattern at the link in the description below this video, and happy sewing!